Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this magnificent day where the sun is shining, there is a breeze, and we're welcoming you to the Advancement Center. And come and join us as we welcome the new world of magic and miracles. Yes, magic. Even before I came out to prepare for this broadcast, I heard the birds. Now, we have birds all the time, but this was big. There were birds in this tree, there were birds in trees far away, and they were communicating back and forth. And I stood here and I said, this is a celebration. And then I realized something very wonderful, and I'd love to tell you this. Robert and I moved here in 2012. And we moved into this beautiful home, and it had been standing empty for a whole year. So there was this tree that was blocking our neighbor's view of the ocean. And so they cut it down half. And soon after, I took a picture, and I even have the picture to show you. I took a picture, and that is where they cut it right there. So all of this has grown. But today I took a picture and it's not grown here, it's grown to about here. And so when I come in or I come out, the birds are saying thank you. And so from now on, this tree will be known as the celebration tree. I love sharing that with you. I love sharing this place with you. I look at those hills behind me and I know they're filled with magic, miracles, and music, of course. So I just had to share that. And I've just been sitting here glowing and looking forward to being with all of you. Yes, magic and miracles have always been a part of everyone's life. Yeah. Every child knows the absolute delight of a loving parent reading them bedtime story of some faraway land where magic is natural and miracles happen all the time. A kiss goodnight, sweet dreams, and the light was turned off. Childhood, sweet, beautiful memories. And then a few years later, childish dreams were supposed to be left behind, and preparations for living in the world was encouraged. School, can't read my writing, but I was inspired this morning as I wrote. Oh, school. And I had the word ital. I said, what word is that? Yeah, school and everything about school. Competition. Getting ahead. Being the first. Walk in a straight line. Compete. That's school. That's not who we are or who we were ever. So it was imposed on us. Meanwhile, it was discovered that magic and miracles could be used commercially and built fortunes for many, many billionaires. Yep, we here at the Advancement Center are here to remind you that magic and miracles is our heritage, our home, and natural to the core of our being. Safe, secure, and filled with well being. Every creative person returns in some way to their child of knowing the fantastic and does not follow the lines of thinking or behaving or believing. And we love them. We need them. But more than that, we have to be creative. Now, belief has many disguises. It's an acceptance of a conclusion, an expectation, and of course, faith, and all manipulated and well being. I think I've just given myself an introduction to reading some personal notes in my journal. For those of you who are new, I share my private journal with you. And this journal is not just a journal. I have a very, very dear friend. He's been my friend since 2009, when I happened to discover him. And that's another story for another time. At any rate, I wrote this last night, and I address all my writing to Simeon. So it was about 9 o'clock at night. Dear Simeon, preparing for my broadcast tomorrow. Today was a patchwork of feelings and immersing myself in magic and miracles has been refreshing. I feel more at home as Robert takes us all to the outer reaches where we experience limitlessness and discover the futility of trying to uplift the mundane rather than discover the myriad of miracles hidden and available for discovery, and celebrating any comment is more than welcome. And Simeon always responds. And he wrote, Dearest Barbara, magic and miracles show themselves when you have least planned for them to occur. Let yourself be prepared to be surprised and delighted at every opportunity. And then, of course, he's so wonderful and so generous. I wrote to him again this morning at 7. And I wrote, Dearest Simeon, I just listened to Robert's broadcast of yesterday and felt the essence of being. That's my handwriting. Oh, which feels larger than life itself and not limited geographically, historically, or physically. Having always known any possibility of not knowing is excruciating. Broadcast in a few hours, and your words are so valued. And he wrote, Dearest Barbara, you have experienced the limitation of one moment of a belief. Its destructive destination can get you off course. The same is true for a nation of believers, can destroy itself. That is why your broadcasts are happening. Harmony for Humanity is, in essence, home. All music expressed must resolve and on the home tone of the key signature. If it doesn't do that, you leave your audience upset. It must resolve in that key signature. And you have your signature, and you know your home, even though you are physically sitting in your chair. Enjoy sharing your essence. Love, Simeon. And Simeon is far from limited. Write to him. Discover an answer that you may not have thought about. Just an idea that I give to you with love. Just yesterday, right after Robert's transmission, I happened to tune into a scientist speaking of a fish in a fishbowl. Does that sound familiar? He went on to describe problems with the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Yeah, is due to the toxicity of the surrounding waters. And who created that? Humanity. Are we taking responsibility? Not really. It's time we do. Change the water results in healthy fish. He went on to denounce the germ theory, virus theory, from without, COVID, etc. He went on to detail the healing from within and ridding of waste, which is how you can maintain your health. Now, Robert overheard this and said, Ready? Belief is the killer from within. Believing the diagnosis, accepting of another's assumption, and a forfeiting of what you know. Your body knows to maintain health all by itself. It doesn't need prodding, drugs, operations, and all the other things we do in an attempt, but never really healing. Knowing what you know is your treasure. Your knowing is your essence, your signature, and your flight to the outer reaches of the universe, to other universes, to meet our friend Simeon, light up the stars, and stand right there in the world of our Creator and say, "Look at me." Then sprinkle that essence of your being down to the physical. The more of us blend our tones, and harmony will reign in the physical and in all of humanity as it is uplifted, healed, and flourishing. These are amazing times. As a matter of fact, I would say they're crucial because as people wake up to their own knowingness and see the magic and experience miracle after miracle, just watch. The world will change before your eyes. As Robert said on, I think that was this past Wednesday, he said, and now we have the opportunity of expressing in physical form what is needed for the future of humanity. The focus that we have is on growth and life itself. And now we're in a position to work with Simeon and the Council of Galaxies to bring about monumental changes in the structure behind the flow for Earth. The basic framework was set in place many, many centuries ago, and those who are in control of its structure have now been ordered to change direction so that the function of everything on the Earth's plane is for the advancement of humanity, not just its resources. That's thrilling. Now, this past Friday, David thrilled us once again with his loving look at life's flow and the spark within. And he wrote this beautiful piece called Safety, Security, and Well-Being. And I'll just read a portion. As a matter of fact, it captures everything. Everything. Beings with the heart of a child and the power of God 1 plus 1 equals infinity. That is the number of miracles that the magic in this one spark of life can create. All done while you're swinging in your swing and sliding down the sliding board. This is what you have always done, and now it will begin again. Once we know we have safety, security, and well being, our innocence will return. Our protection will drop, and our focus will return to the joy of life and looking after each other. Your Creator is looking after you. Simeon is looking after you. And the masters and the angels are looking after you. So let the weight of looking after yourself fall from the shoulders of your being, and let others know by your life that they can do the same. Now, feel the explosion of love from your heart as the spark within you that is 1,000 times more powerful than a nuclear bomb comes roaring out of the dark, roaring out of the cell to pronounce to humanity once and for all, I am free. I am free, and I love you. David, we all love you, and thank you. Wow. Reading your words is why I love interpretation of wonder. As our friend Tim said about excerpts from Robert's broadcast as absolute. And I thank you, Tim, because you have a way with words. And you see the absoluteness of truth. And you wrote to me this morning, quote, as we experience that divine essence, you realize there is much more to life than life itself. You capture these passages with your heart, and you live them, Tim. And then you wrote, and your state of mind never matters. How you feel never matters. Miracle after miracle is all that matters. And the dance with the universe is approved by your Creator. And there goes another miracle. Thank you, Tim, for keeping this in the forefront of our life. You do that, you know. So now I'm going to share a child's dream I've always had, and that was to make art. So every Thursday night, under the wonderful guidance of my teacher, our teacher, Mandar, he leads us. And sometimes I love the subject, and sometimes I'm not so sure about the subject, but I always try. And what comes out amazes me. I had a struggle, but I kept at it. And that is so rewarding. So here's what we did. And the best thing about it is the next day, Robert looks at it and says, "That's amazing." So here it is. Wait a minute, back here. There. Yeah. So there she is. Did my best, and it was fun. And I look forward to next Thursday. I've enjoyed every moment spent with you. I feel every one of you. And together, we are spinning and weaving wonder. So here's to a lifetime. We don't even have to go that far, just daily magic and miracles, and discovering them in the most amazing places. So enjoy, and every miracle you find is bringing perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you for listening. I'm Barbara.